Hey y'all, welcome back to Evening Sun Garden. My name is Crystal and today we are doing a garden tour week 5 of season 2021, and we are gardening here in zone 7A, middle to southern Tennessee. It has been 2 weeks since we've set eyes on the garden, and at this stage in the season things are happening really quickly in the garden, so I'm excited to show you guys what's going on over there. It's going to be another 2 weeks before I get to show you again because we are going on vacation. I have a very sweet friend who's going to water and make sure that all my plants stay alive, but it's going to be another 2 weeks until we see it. So let's go over there and see what's going on right now, and then next time I see you guys, you'll be able to see the growth. So let's go. Before I move over to the big garden, I just want to talk about the last of the seedlings that I have for now. These are all these ones are peppers that I'm growing from a seed that I got at the grocery store. They're like little snack peppers, so I don't actually know what to expect out of these, but I have these 3 in the cups, and then these over here are also those peppers. And then we have this is a basil. This is going to be planted out today, actually. I'm going to put it underneath my tomatoes right before I leave for vacation. And then I might also plant these 2 today, so we'll see. These are my slow starting butternut squash, I think. It's either butternut or spaghetti, I can't remember now. But 2 of them germinated because I kind of sowed heavily the second time. It didn't germinate the first time, and so I sowed heavily the second time, and now I've got 2, but I think I have space for both of them, so we're going to put them in today. So I've got these. I think I'm just going to plant them while I'm over here. It's been raining a lot here, and it just stopped. Hopefully it holds off long enough for me to shoot this whole garden tour for you guys, because it's literally been like non-stop raining, which is great because the garden loves it and I don't have to water, and I've been really busy these past couple days, so it's been a nice blessing to have the rain and I don't have to water, but it does make it a little bit hard to film. But anyway, okay, so I've got my basil that's going to go over there next to my tomatoes and my 2 spaghetti squash. They're actually all going in the same bed, so we'll do that in a minute. As always with the blueberry bushes that I keep saying I'm going to put bird netting over, and I just haven't gotten around to it. But the blueberries are looking lovely. No real turning of any of the fruits on this plant. This second one, you can see just the tops are starting to turn a little, and it doesn't look like we've had much bird activity on this, but I've definitely seen birds over here, so I'm gonna definitely want to be protecting these here soon. I think this right here, it's like discoloration, might be some sort of disease, but I'm not sure. Okay, moving over to the Space Master cucumber. The leaves are looking like something maybe got to it a little bit, but you can see it's starting to put out its little tendrils to grab onto the tomato cage and start climbing. So I think this is still looking pretty good. The leaves around the leaves are starting to look a little yellow, so I'm not sure if that's from overwatering or if it needs some nutrients or something. So if you guys know, definitely leave me a comment down below. Okay, this right here, I don't know if it's a weed or a flower. It looks like it's a flower. I didn't plant this, so I don't know what's going to happen, but I hope it's a flower. If not, I just let a weed grow for a long time. Okay, in this big bed, my green bean plant, the coloring is looking weird. It doesn't really look too super happy. We've gotten a few green beans off these plants already. Let me see if I can show you. Got a bean right there. The onion's still looking good. Some of the onions look like they're bigger than others, so I think that there's some that aren't getting as much sunlight. That's a weed over there. Definitely need to pull that out. The eggplants are getting pretty big. That's the Japanese eggplant over there, right next to the big weed. And then if we take a look at this way, look at this cucumber. Look at the size of that leaf. This is the Boston pickling. This is going to definitely need something to climb here soon. It's also putting out tendrils, and I haven't put up a trellis yet, so I'm not sure if I'm going to get that up before today. Probably not. So I may come back to like a jungle with this, but hopefully not. And then let's just move over here to look at these Kajari melons. It's interesting, the plants that are the same, that were planted at the same time, and like the difference in growth. So this one is tiny. It looks like it's gotten a little bit of bug damage. But this one is probably double its size, and the leaves don't seem to have been too disturbed. So not really sure what's going on, but if I get one Kajari melon, honestly, I'll be happy. They're so beautiful. These are the Gerber daisies. Some of them look like they're starting to get a little bit of discoloration in them. The marigolds have finally started to take off as well. And I love that we have two different colors here. Beautiful. Then we've got our lily. Some of those leaves are also looking discolored, but we've got the first signs of blooms right here. Then in our planter, we've got our marigolds at the top and around the bottom, and then just onions in there. Some of the onions are looking pretty good. And they're getting pretty big. Pretty happy with that bed as well. There are a lot of mosquitoes out here. It is definitely not the time I normally film. So the first bed is looking pretty good. I'm seeing a lot of insect damage. Not a lot, but enough. I'm seeing some leaves getting attacked, and probably some vitamin deficiencies because some of the leaves are discolored, and I'm not really sure why, but I don't know. You'll see on some of the other plants too that we kind of have the same problem. So okay, right here in Grow Bag Alley, we've got our potato plants. Not much has changed really on these. The growth is still pretty extensive though. The leaves themselves though are looking pretty good, and as far as color wise, both of my cherry tomatoes, the one that I split in half, they both took. So now I'm gonna have two. So they're both the Sun Sugar by Bonnie, if it'll focus. And look at this guy. Recovered really well. Tomatoes are resilient. This is the other one that's the top that I snapped off. And you can tell it's also rooted because it hasn't died, and it's even started to grow a little, which is insane. Then we have our strawberries. I have a few leaves that are red, as you can see. Somebody said that's a sign of disease and to take those off. Then our peppers really aren't doing much. I don't think we're going to see a whole lot out of these peppers until it gets hot. But just for reference, this is our red pepper. This is our dual stem jalapeno. I tried to separate that out, and believe it or not, that's one plant. So I couldn't separate it out. And then that is a banana pepper. In this next bed, I planted sunflowers, a bunch of different varieties, and they're starting to come up. Sunflowers grow so quickly, so I think that we'll be seeing a lot of stuff, a lot of growth in these sunflowers. The next visit, they'll probably have, I don't know, 2 or 3 feet, I think. Lovely. So it's all sunflowers in this bed. And then over here, the marigold is starting to put off a lot of flowers. I can see 4, 5, 6 or so coming from this one plant, so that's crazy. Our extra tomato starting to actually put off. Hold on, to get closer. We've got our first flower buds on this Atkinson tomato. Then let me back up so you guys can see. This is the next bed. Zucchini is really taking off. Get a little bit, we have an ant problem, as you can see. But got a lot of stuff happening in there. The basil is going to go right there underneath this tomato, which is the purple Cherokee. I'm going to plant that right now. Next thing I wanted to talk to you guys about see these 2 plants right here? These are both Roma tomatoes, and they were both planted at the same time. This one is doing great. Really sprouted up, put off new leaves. The color is good. Hasn't really grown much. The coloring is off. I put some blood meal. Hopefully that will help a little bit, but I don't know what's going on with it, so fingers crossed. Then this is the spaghetti squash, which I've never grown before, and it's putting off tendrils, which I'm confused about because I thought it was going to grow similarly to zucchini, which it is kind of bushing out like the zucchini is, but the tendrils are different. I don't know. And then obviously the 2 butternut squashes are going to go right here. And then we have, this is a super sweet 100 cherry tomato, which I've not pruned, and now it's got, looks like 2 liters. But I mean, the growth is just phenomenal from the last time we've seen it. Then this bed doesn't seem to be doing so hot. Not really sure. I think it might need more fertilization, honestly. But we've got our marigolds that, even the marigolds are not really taking off like the other marigolds in some of the other beds. We do have a little bit of, this is the wildflower seeds that I scattered. They are coming up a little bit, but they're very slow growing. So I'm not really sure if there's like a nutrients problem in this bed. Probably have to do a soil test on this. And then the kale is still, I'm waiting for the seed pods to dry, but it's just everywhere. And last, but certainly not least, we've got our sweet potatoes, which don't actually look that much different from when I planted them, except for this one started to send something out, which I think is a good sign that there's some growth underneath there. So my Rose of Sharon bush, I put a fence post there to keep it away from the HVAC system. Well guys, that's the end of the garden tour. Like I said, it's been on and off raining here, and it is starting to rain again, and I'm starting to lose some light. So that's the end of the tour, but I just wanted to get out here real quick and just make sure that I had some video of what the garden looked like before I went on vacation, so that I was able to see the growth that we are going to have in the next 2 weeks. So thanks for hanging out with me, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye!